I'd
like to call to order the Wednesday, October 25th regular town council meeting. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mike Aurelio.
Here.
Brian Blazak.
Present.
Wayne Pondina.
Present.
Gerald Swatz.
Present.
Michael Schilling.
Here.
Joe Wizawati.
Present.
David Westland.
Present.
And Beth Hernandez, present.
Item 3, public comment. I have a list here. First on the list, Mike Bovat, 9291 West 103rd Place.
Thank you, Mr. President. Council, I'm here to represent the incoming council for 2024, and I would just like to speak to one of the items on the agenda. My understanding is that you're going to consider spending $90,000 to explore upgrading the public safety building with the possibility of spending more money for improvements. It is doubtful that we would move forward on such expense without first knowing where the money is coming from. That would be a concern for us. And we just respectfully ask this council that you would reconsider not spending that money at this time and give the incoming council the opportunity to deal with this concern. Mr. President, council members, thank you for your consideration of giving the incoming council this responsibility to deal with this task. Thank you very much.
Next, Rob Kometz, 8581 Fair Oaks Lane.
Thank you, Mike. Financial steward of taxpayer money. That is a claim that we residents have heard on several occasions. You can imagine how disheartening it was to hear that our hand-picked park board is looking to approve $80,000 for Christmas lights for an event that was put on for a fraction of the cost in the past. Christmas in the Park was a wildly successful event. It involved many, many volunteers. I'm not sure if your motive is to spend as much money as you can to leave the new council with empty pockets, or you're just not the financial stewards that you claim to be. There are better ways to spend $100,000. You can hire another police officer. These firemen and police back there could probably use some new equipment or upgraded equipment. You can buy bulletproof vests for the police dog, veterans memorial, park equipment, etc. There seems to be a lot of stuff that you could spend that money on because rather than using it on an event that was hosted mainly by volunteers in the past and saving the town money. It's ridiculous. Seems like you think the town has an unlimited checking account, and we don't. It's a waste of money trying to put that money into an event that's been successful for years and years and years. Secondly, I'd like to address an HR issue that's been plaguing this town. Over 3 weeks ago, I emailed every one of you an audio recording of a town employee that was sent to me. The town employee was discussing confidential HR matters with staff members and speaking in a derogatory way about another employee. The employee even went so far as to mention the person by name. Same employee was suspended for sexual harassment, yet continues to exhibit these behaviors. I followed it up a week later with another email asking you what you guys are going to do to get rid of this liability of the town. Didn't hear anything from that either. We saw how it was addressed, though. The employee in question was invited to a birthday party at Mr. Aurelio's house. They say behavior is a learned trait. By enabling this person in his behavior, he is learning that it is okay to behave inappropriately. This is going to cost the town a lot in legal fees. I think you guys should step down immediately and save the town some money.
Next on the list, Terry Nelleman, 9500 West 103rd Place.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Schilling. Naturally, you've got that already. The reason why I'm here is I couldn't attend the meeting last month because of spending a lot of time with an old sick friend. But getting back today, the last meeting was discussed about the Magnuson Moss Act, which I had discussed, and that was basically in regards to a law that the government passed, which was the federal lemon law. That pertains to cars. We have a major issue with the town of St. John, which is and has been a problem that just keeps going on. It's been going on for roughly about 4 years. I know I had requested a member of the town council, Mr. Schilling, to resign, and naturally he did not. Mr. Schilling, I asked you if you would please ask him to resign. I think I said please. If not, either way, you said no, you weren't going to ask him to resign. The biggest problem is this has been covered up by this gentleman. I have to stay directly to you, Mr. Schilling, so I want to stay in line. That this man's got to go. He's got to go. 4 years this stuff has been under his belt and the council's belt with all the documents, the building department. But yet this man is concealing and did conceal from the federal government and a bunch of agencies what has been going on with these homes built by Lennar. Please, this is nothing against any other builder that I know of. Again, this gentleman knows that I have got the smoking gun of the homes that was built very, very badly. And again, this gentleman decides just to sweep it under the carpet. Again, this man needs to be removed. I will not mention his name. We all know who he is. But for this to happen and continue to happen over the course of years Lennar was here, they've got faulty building materials. It's already, your people have been through it. I've done my best to have John Gill there, and nothing's transpired. It's been swept under the covers, under the carpet, by the past president of the Town Council of St. John. It's no reflection on you, Mr. Schilling, or the other members. I'm sure you've had discussions. You've had discussions with the attorney, Mr. Townsend, about it. You had to. It's not something that's going away. Again, please, council, this gentleman has got to be removed from this town council.
All right,
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much, Mike.
all right. Anybody else want to address the council? All right, we'll move along. Item 4, approval of the minutes.
Like to make a motion to approve the special study session minutes from September 21st, 2023. The regular council meeting minutes from September 27th, 2023. The minutes from the special meeting on October 9th, 2023. And the special study session on October 19th, 2023.
I'll support that.
Motion a second. Any discussion?
I want to abstain from the September 21st because I wasn't here. I wasn't present.
All right.
The other ones are okay.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain from the top one,
All right.
the first one, and I vote for the other ones, the town council meeting for the 27th, the 9th, and the 19th.
So technically, the motion was for all four,
Oh, all right.
so your abstention has to be, I mean, you can either vote for it or whatever you
All
want
right,
to do,
I'll
I'm not trying to tell you.
I'll say no.
Well, you can abstain.
I'll abstain, but
Yeah,
Dave, he can amend the motion too, right, just to,
We could have, but we now call the vote, and Wayne voted, so I just want to make sure his vote is recorded with what he wants to do.
Right.
So you're abstaining from all four?
I'll abstain from all four.
I mean, it passes, so it's.
Motion carries 4-0, one
Abstention.
Mention.
Mr. President,
Yes.
can we have FH Passion come up at this point?
Yes.
These are they're giving us a project update for the,
They're moving these guys up to the top. This is.
Right.
yeah.
So they can get out of here.
Good evening. I was asked to come here tonight to give you guys an update on the status of the 93rd Avenue and US 41 project.
If you would just state your name for the
Yes,
record.
Matt Aquino with FH Passion. So currently, the underground work is probably 95% done. We're currently waiting on bacteria tests to come back clear. As soon as the bacteria tests come back clear, we'll start tying in all the water services to the residents along Kyleman. Beginning tomorrow, we'll begin the excavation of the roadway along 93rd, and then from there, work our way into Kyleman. Along with the excavation, the concrete crews will be back the week of the 30th to begin the curb installation along 93rd, rolling right into Kyleman, and then driveways along 93rd and Kyleman as well. With that, with the time of year, we are actually going to move up the fine grading and the paving of 93rd and Kyleman to the 14th, 15th, and 16th to facilitate getting the paving done before the anticipated asphalt plant closures. As soon as the paving is complete, we'll come back in with the concrete crews, finish the sidewalks. After the sidewalks is backfilling, the sod installation, and then within there as well is the signal work at US 41, which we're looking to start on the 18th. We're waiting on the delivery of the signal pole for the southeast corner of US 41. Southwest, I'm sorry. And then the decorative lighting and the remainder of the signage will fall in just after Thanksgiving. So with that being said, that right now we've got a plan to still be completed by our substantial completion date of December the 8th.
Thank you. Any questions for these gentlemen?
I had asked you to come, or Adam, or Evan, to have you come out.
Sure.
I go by there all the time, I get answered, questions asked to me. You had Friday, you had Saturday, you had Monday, you had Tuesday, and you got Wednesday. Nobody's out there. You delivered one machine. You should have been, we can't tell you how to do it, but my opinion,
Right.
you should have had somebody grading that stone, getting that ready. You got the curb to pull out by the church parking lot. All of that stuff should be done, even if you had a guy on a Bobcat picking up the sidewalk. You're running out of time because the cold weather. You're going to have 2 cold days next week. If you go to pour concrete, are you going to have something to protect the concrete to keep it from, the frost from messing up the concrete?
Yes.
You don't want to have to come back, next year or 2 years from now and say there's some bad stuff there.
No.
There were some problems with the curb machine. We had to tear that out. That was no expense to us.
Correct.
But the residents, they've been patient in that area. I was on Kyleman, and you can see where a heavy truck went through, and the ground's kind of spongy. Is that going to hurt the quality of Kyleman Street, that first 300 feet when you go in?
So all the existing material that's in there is going to be removed and new subgrade treatment will be installed.
Right, and on Monday, you only had 3 workers out here, and they put in maybe 3 slabs of concrete.
Sure.
I think that maybe you didn't plan it right, or you're putting your workers somewhere else and hoping that you can finish this. And our goal as a town, we want to be finished. We want that blacktop to be up to the top of the curb. We don't want to have no problems with our plow if it's down lower and chipping up the curb. It's just going to be an inferior product. And that, out of courtesy, we said, let's have you guys come and listen to some of the complaints. If any of the residents in here live in the area, if they want to come and ask you questions, that's fine. I welcome them to come up here, but we pay attention to that, and it's going along pretty good, but it's slowed up now.
Sure,
There was many days where there was nobody working out there. And
yeah, so currently there is, it's due to construction sequence. So for us to be productive when we get out there, we've got to wait for the underground work to get done.
Well, the underground work's been done now on this side, the east side.
Correct.
They just have to patch a sidewalk here and there, and they gotta dig up out here, outside this window, you gotta dig up the street a little bit because it's mushy.
Correct, yeah,
And-
that'll be
and
part of
I
the
think
patching
that's
and
almost
paving
done.
portion.
But to have somebody come out and finish the east side, it's not cost effective for you because you're gonna have mobility and, mobilization, demobilization.
Correct.
And you're gonna have to take this down to an inch and a half and then come and pave it, and then you're done, and you can still have to wait for that side. But if you could promise us that when you bring out a cement crew, you bring out, 15, 20 people that can get
Sure.
that done.
And
And that's all we're worried about the residents.
No, understood. And we are prepared for your concern about the colder temperatures. We are prepared for that as well.
And hopefully you protect the sidewalk and the curb when it
Right.
gets cold out.
Yep.
That's all, we want a good job,
Sure, understood. Yeah, we are prepared for anything that's out in front of us, so.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right.
In their defense, though, they came here in February and said it was gonna be the end of November, first week of December, the completion, and you're within days of what you said 10 months ago.
Sure.
But then, Mike, in that point, your blacktop, your final coat has to be at a certain temperature. You can't put that stuff down if it's 45 degrees or lower.
They know that.
Mike, I'm just trying to ask with
it's a lot
what's
of words.
going on with the weather.
How are we being on track? So for sure, we would like to have it done as fast as possible. Everybody does, right? And that's not unique to just myself or any of us. How are we doing? So we were supposed to be due the last week of November, first couple weeks of December. What is your estimated date to be done?
We're still on track for that.
You're
that
on
First
track.
week in December.
All right, thank God.
And we had a meeting with these gentlemen and Evan, and we agree with their assessment so far. I mean, we're pretty confident what they're telling us is valid, makes sense, and fits into the wheelhouse. So unless something changes on that, we'll advise the council. But as they stated, everything was what we discussed Friday.
Please do your best to speed that up. We would be
Sure will.
grateful.
And thank you, gentlemen, for coming out tonight. We really do appreciate that.
Does anybody have anything for these guys before they step away from the public? All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Moving along, number 5, public hearing. Item A, resolution 2023-10-25, resolution authorizing the additional appropriations for various funds. Proof of publications.
The proofs of publication are in order and comply with Indiana law.
Opening remarks, Joe?
Yeah, the following appropriations are requested and necessary for the following: General Fund, $638,960. MVH Fund, $413,004. Park Fund, $11,361. Indiana Grant Fund, $658. The ARP Fund, $1,113,572. The NERC NDOT LPA Grant, $132,892. Park Memorial Fund, $1,500. Cumulative Fire, $7,200. And Road Impact Fee, $210,000 even. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. I'll open the floor to public comment. Anybody from the public? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I'll close the floor to public comment. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 2023-10-25.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I got a motion, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Moving along to new business, financial matters of the corporation. Item 1, request to purchase. There are 17 requests to purchases in the combined total of $535,149.83. Beth, would you like to go over the 17 requests?
Sure. Your first request is to Lindco in the amount of $53,539, and that is for an F-250 Super Cab for Public Works. Your second one is to National Hose, which is in the amount of $6,468, and that's for the fire department's annual hose testing. Next, you have Boonder Electric for $5,962, and that is for street light repair at 96 Place and Earl Drive. Another one to Boonder Electric in the amount of $4,241.44, again for street light repair at Red Lily Way and the Preserve. A third one to Boonder Electric in the amount of $4,212 for street light repair at Settlers Court in Lake Hills. One to C&S Solutions for $7,819.44, and that is for a radio detection locator, again for Public Works. You have Cargill in the amount of $181,137.60, and this is for 80% of the road salt for winter.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are we able to house all this? Remember we talked earlier about if we had the room? Or is some of it gonna be outside and have to be tarped? Do you know?
That would be a Joe question. I'm
Okay,
not
okay,
sure
Okay.
about housing
I
it.
can check with,
I can tell you we don't have adequate housing for it, so I will check with Bob Davis and see what his intentions are for the delivery.
I was gonna say, because, you know, they do tarp salt, which keeps it from getting washed away. Okay?
Well, in years past, they just order it as they need it.
Oh, no, I'm aware of that. I didn't know if this was an order we had to take a lot
So
of times.
you're obligated for
Yeah,
the
you're obligated to
80%?
take, right.
And then the next one is for 20% to Cargill in the amount of $45,284.40. And this one you're not obligated to unless you need it.
But hopefully we got room for the 80%.
Right.
Okay.
Your next one is to Co-Alliance in the amount of $19,025, and this is for on-road and off-road diesel. Co-Alliance again for $22,875, and this is for your unleaded fuel. Gaskill and Walton in the amount of $12,800, and that is for pipe repair to well 7. Gazvoda in the amount of $12,372.22. And this is for a chlorine analyzer replacement for the Gates and Monix treatment plants. Image Trend in the amount of $5,216.73. And this is for the CAD module and inspection module for the fire department, a reporting and billing software program. Mechanical Concepts in the amount of $100,160. And this is for HVAC upgrade for public safety building. Another one to Mechanical Concepts in the amount of $11,827. And again, this is for the public safety building for the AC leak repair. Peerless Midwest in the amount of $36,135. And this is for well 7 casing and pump repair. And last but not least, you have Seal Master in the amount of $6,075. And this was for 4,500 pounds of crack seal, totaling $535,149.83.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to pay the RTPs in the amount of $535,149.83.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is accounts payable voucher dated October 25th, 2023, rendering payment for payroll purchases, supplies, equipment services rendered to the town of St. John in the combined total of $2,185,947.26.
I'll make a motion to pay the amount of $2,185,947.26 for the accounts payable vouchers.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, consider motion to approve progress payment to FH Passion for the 93rd Avenue project in the amount of $190,000, $91.42, and authorize clerk treasurer to issue payment from the 2020 GEO bond.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, consider motion to approve progress payment to First Group for construction engineering for 93rd Avenue project in the amount of $44,105.87, and authorize clerk treasurer to issue payment from 2020 GEO bond.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 1808A, an ordinance for appropriation and tax rates for year 2024 budget. This is for the civil. This comes to you on second reading, so I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 1808A on second reading.
So moved.
Support.
I got a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries 4-1. Next, ordinance number 1808B, an ordinance for appropriations and tax rates for 2024 budget sanitary. This comes to you again on second reading. I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 1808B on second reading.
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion, I have a second. Do I have, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is ordinance number 1808C, an ordinance for appropriations and tax rates for year 2024 budget on the water district. This comes to you again on second readings. I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 1808C on second reading.
So moved.
I have a motion. Second. I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Next, ordinance number 1809, an ordinance establishing the 2024 compensation plan for the town of St. John, Indiana 2024 salary ordinance. On this, I'll entertain a motion to consider ordinance number 1809 on first reading only.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Support.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries 4-1. Next, ordinance number 1810, an amendment to salary ordinance 1789, an ordinance establishing the 2023 compensation plan for the town of St. John, Indiana. I'll entertain a motion on first reading for ordinance number 1810.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 1810 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, resolution number 2023-10-25A, a resolution declaring uncollectible accounts of the St. John Lake County, Indiana bad debt and authorizing collection efforts to cease, allowing the clerk treasurer to write off said accounts.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, resolution number 2023-10-25B, a resolution transferring ARPA monies. You have a comment on the,
Yeah, this was presented to the town's council last week. This is for the HVAC repairs and updates to the public safety building
okay,
for the RTPs that were approved this evening.
I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 2023-10-25B.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, council action, item one, consider motion to approve 2024 insurance renewal with Myers Glaros and authorize the town council president to sign all agreements pertaining to employee insurance.
Joe, do you know what the percentage increase is of this again? I know we went over this at the study session.
Yeah, Rob, do you have a percentage of what the total increase was on this?
So in the fixed expense side, it was roughly a 12 to 13% on the fixed side, which only makes up 30 to 35% of the total cost of healthcare. We were dealing with, a larger trend in claims, which we announced at the study session. We believe that that has cooled off a little bit. Not totally in the clear yet, but we think that with the contract change we made last May, the town is more protected on the aggregate and the run-in as we move into 2024. And so we'll continue to report back kind of how the plan is running. But yeah, that was the overall fixed cost increase. And we think it's going to kind of start trending a little bit more flat as time goes on this year. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 insurance renewal with Meyer Laros.
I'll second it.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries 4-1. Next, consider motion to approve agreement with Hanover Township for calendar year 2024 for ambulance, EMS, and fire protection. Mr. Toth was here last study session and went over the areas that he would like for us to cover. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, consider a motion to approve interlocal community services agreement with the St. John Township of Lake County, Indiana for providing gift cards for motor fuel by the St. John Township trustee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, I have a second. Discussion?
No, I'm just here in case.
Oh, all right.
If you have anything.
She's there for us to throw rocks at. in
I have a
case
motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you for providing that.
Thank you, Kathy.
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Thank
It's
you.
my pleasure. Thank you.
Next, consider a motion to approve change order number 4, West 93rd Avenue in Kylman in the amount of minus $109,205 and no cents. These funds will be held by the town to cover certain costs associated with the project for concrete and other necessary work at US 41 and 93rd Avenue as part of the right-of-way acquisition.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, consider motion to approve task order 23-04 with Robinson Engineering for updating GIS atlas for the water, sanitary sewer, and stormwater sewer. I'll entertain a motion to approve task order number 23-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next is consider motion to approve task order number 23-05 with Robinson Engineering for service line material inventory.
So moved.
Second.
I have motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, consider acceptance of performance surety bond in the amount of $21,335 and no cents for the Gates of St. John Unit 21B.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next, consider acceptance of performance surety in the amount of $17,380 and no cents for the Gates of St. John Unit 24B.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, consider motion to approve a design services agreement with K2M Design for the Public Safety Building and authorize the town council president to execute the agreement and authorize the use of ARPA rescue plan funds for payment.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
it's a staff's recommendation that this matter be tabled or deferred at this time.
Entertain a motion to defer.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 5-0. Next, consider motion to authorize the town attorney to make firm offers to owners of record for the acquisition of right-of-way in accordance with the state law.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
it's our recommendation right now that we table this matter.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion to table and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carry, any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, consider motion to accept settlement offer for a specific individual in an amount not to exceed $180,000 and authorize the town manager to execute all necessary documents on behalf of the town to execute the settlement.
Mr. President and Mr. Attorney, would it be appropriate to name the individual at this time as far as the agreement and restate the motion?
You can.
Okay, or we don't have to?
No,
Okay.
this is the incident, and I don't remember
Just
when
for
it
the
was.
matter of transparency, that's all.
Yeah, this is the incident from the spring where the St. John officer shot at a driver who happened to be an off-duty Hammond officer.
I'll move that motion.
I have a second.
I'll second it.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is just information to be placed on file with the clerk treasurer. Legal notice at 10281 Joliet Street. Legal notice at 10501 West Joliet Street. Legal notice at 10845 Parish Avenue. Legal notice at 12711 West 93rd Avenue. Legal notice Franciscan Alliance and Corp. Site on US 41. Investment holdings as of September 30th, 2023. I'll move along.
How come we always have that? We just start putting it on the agenda. Why?
Just so that those are items that have been received by the town.
It's like the second month in a row, or meeting in a row that we do that. We never did it before.
Just items that we receive here that should be a matter of public record.
Okay, staff reports. Clerk treasurer, Beth?
My only comment would be the letter, the investment holdings as of September 30th, 2023. That's under information to be accepted by me. I provided that memo, so it was really information that you would accept. I gave it to you guys in email. It's not something that would be accepted by me because I wrote the memo. So I just want to put it on the record that this is not accepted and placed on file with the clerk treasurer. That's my only comment.
Do you need these on here to be read off, or?
I don't need them on here, but
All right. Anything else? Next, town engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Council. Dave Schilling, Robinson Engineering. Thanks again for approving those task orders and your continued confidence in us to get those things done. On to my report. This morning, we had a meeting with INDOT regarding the on-site with INDOT regarding the Klein Avenue roundabout. They're on schedule to bid that next November, so that would be under construction in 2025. Some town-specific items that we talked about were installing a sleeve across the intersection for the future installation of water main. They also offered that if the town wanted to add any enhancement type items to the roundabout, decorative plantings in the middle, welcome to St. John sign, stuff like that, they'd be willing to work with us on that, but the town would have to maintain that going forward. We also briefly discussed the Parish Avenue roundabout at 231. That one will be followed a couple years. They said somewhere 2026, 2028. The projects that we are working on, the community crossings, 2023 paving, all the paving is complete. Everything was within budget. We're still waiting on the striping. They were going to try to do that this week, but ran into weather, so that one should be done soon, aside from punch list items. The Acorn Water Main project, all of the services are in, so what's left to do on the water main portion is to kind of do some cleanup, cap the old main, remove the old hydrants. Sanitary's all in except for about 20 feet of the pipe on the Alvina Drive side. After 30 days of everything being installed, we can do all the tests on that and get that accepted. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. You have anything, Joe?
Yeah, so like Dave was saying, the design for the roundabout, I'm just you kind of reiterated, or I'm reiterating a little bit of what you talked about, so. So the roundabout's in final design phase. They're expecting to have that completed by March of 2024. And as he said, with bid letting sometime in November of 2024, construction season would begin in spring of 2025. So for any residents that are interested, they're going to start working on that in 2025. So we'll keep you posted as we get that project moving along and any updates from NDOT. Also attended a meeting with representatives from the town of Schererville. They'll be presenting the facts and information on the improvements to the sanitary treatment plant, which St. John owns 30% of at the November Sanitary District meeting. These costs will impact the town about $1.5 million. We'll be working with Baker Tilly on the impact on their 5-year capital plan as well. And as I stated, we did have a meeting with FH Passion. They are aware of the limitations for laying the asphalt. Our project engineer, Evan, will be keenly aware of, monitoring that to make sure that we're getting a good and consistent product. So I'm confident in Evan's ability to get that done. Other than that, that concludes my report.
Are they gonna, excuse me, Mike, are they gonna be able to get the roundabout done in 1 year?
That is their plan. You actually might see some of the utilities. NIPSCO's got quite a bit to relocate. You might actually see some of that in 2025 if they can get the, 2024, I'm sorry, if they can get the right-of-way cleared.
Yeah, I was aware of the plans, but I didn't know if they were, you know how it works.
Oh, yes, yep.
And NDOT, it's fun to meet with them anyway. What's their plan on Parish? Have they even thrown that out yet?
They're still in the very preliminary kind of
Okay.
data gathering phase.
I didn't figure they'd
Yeah,
give you
very
anything.
early.
All right.
If the town wanted to put an enhancement at their roundabout, when would the time limit be for getting that into?
We have till March 24th, or March of 24 to get that done. So I would definitely hope that maybe discussions with some of the incoming council members, Wayne, Jerry, we can get something figured out, whether that's something the town wants to do, and then how that's gonna look.
Because obviously that's gonna be.
Obviously, that's your
East
gateway. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right, be
Yeah.
nice to do that up. a
And
little
that's
bit.
why I brought that up at the meeting today. I'm like, yeah, we are probably gonna want to do something there.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Town council, Wayne?
Yeah, I'd like to mirror what Mr. Bovat said about spending the money in the park district. Over $100,000 for lights and stuff, where that was done by volunteers, and probably had maybe a $10,000 budget that was donated from different residents. It just seemed like a waste of money to do that. And my only thing is that they probably don't know how to do all of that, so they just got a resource to go to, sourcing it out to people. We had a lot of volunteers that did that, and it's a shame that we got to spend that kind of money for that. It's just a total waste of taxpayer money.
All right. Jerry?
I just had a question for Joe regarding trick or treat. That's coming up next week. What do you have for us?
It's been recommended, and I'm asking the council if they would approve that this evening, to amend the hours to have those for 4 to 7 instead of the 5 to 7. That would allow the younger trick-or-treaters to get out earlier with their parents and get back in before it's dark.
Yeah, we
Does
did.
that require an ordinance or anything, Dave, or a motion?
Motion and approval.
I'll make a motion that we change the trick-or-treat hours for the kids from 4 to 7 on the 31st of October.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
That's
Why
all,
does-
that's all I have.
Why does government approve trick-or-treat hours anyway?
Came from the president.
Oh.
And you're it, so.
Yeah.
Get your Halloween suit on and go. All right. Anything else, Jerry?
No, that's all.
I was going tonight.
Start early.
Mike, you have anything?
Yeah, so We're, tonight, we were hoping to move forward on, for purchasing and moving forward of fixing the headache of Earl Drive tonight, which we were not ready because the appraisals were not ready. But we are moving forward. It'd be nice to have that project, so Earl Drive, which is behind McDonald's at Disaster Road, fixed and on the way to being fixed here by the end of the year. So I believe that's going to be on the next agenda. I'm hoping that will be so for we can move forward. I also want to talk a little bit about what I thought was also a lot of money to be spent on lights for the Christmas in the Park yesterday. But I do want to rebut some of the false narrative a little bit. I thought $79,000, I was surprised that was high. But I want to correct the false narrative that $10,000 is spent every year on Christmas in the Park. That's not true either. The Public Works and the Parks Department starts working on that project sometime, I was told by several others, in the middle of October. So it's a great project. Money is spent on that. It's well over $10,000 for sure. So just, I want to correct a false narrative. It's a wonderful thing. It's nice to have it improved on. I did listen to 30 minutes of the park board going through those costs. They actually started much higher than that. They came down to $79,000, which I still think is a lot of money. The director of parks and their staff were thorough and had many bids on this, and it is nice that there is a budget and you actually know what it cost. So in the past, I don't think anybody knows what it costs. So anyways, I was surprised it was $79,000. Yeah, and it is that money is for upgrades that will be years for usage, right? It's not just for this year. It's a 5-year purchase. So that's all I have.
I'd like to say one thing about Earl Drive. Earl Drive, it is a mess, but you look where Aldi's is. Aldi's, I think whoever owns that spot, they fixed it. So now what kind of legal problem are we going to have? They fixed what they had to fix, whoever the owner is for that, because it goes to the center line. Now we're going to fix somebody else's property. They should just give us the property and we'll fix it. They should deed that over to us. That's a simple fix. Otherwise, it's going to cost us.
I agree with that. That would be great.
Otherwise, it's going to cost us over $100,000 for engineering, and then we have to fix it. That's how that should be handled, my opinion.
So I would agree with that. It would be great in a world that we can go make the private owners of that property give it to the government, right? We could drive on their property. This is Russia, right? So there's private ownership of that road. It's reasonable to pay for it. I believe we did ask for them to give it to us. They wanted to be paid.
No, then
fair market
have
value, which I think if you owned it, you'd probably want fair market value.
Well, you know what, I think I think Mr. Westland was the attorney for that, and if I remember right, it was $1 purchase for part of that property for one of them owners. So that's a big, huge return on your investment for $1. And a part of that agreement was he was to allow ingress and egress on that road and maintain it. Now, the proper way of maintaining it, Dave might say, we're just gonna put stone in the road, that's it. Jerry might say, okay, we're gonna cut it out, we're gonna put coal patch. And I might say, okay, we'll cut it out, and we're gonna put blacktop down there and really do the job the right way. So that was discussed a long time ago. And yeah, it's a bad road, but why does one person, one company, fix the road, and then we're gonna buy it from somebody else? That doesn't make sense.
So I agree
That's not being a good steward of the money.
Yeah, but
And going back to Christmas in the park, that is a waste of money, Mike.
Past errors, you could see the road. Who's driven up and down Earl Drive? It's a disaster.
They all have.
Right, and past errors, and arguing about a guy, this is not Russia, it's private property, that's a private road, right? So, and there's an agreement that's not functioning, the road's a disaster, it needs to be fixed.
It's a private
right?
road.
So how you fix it, it's a public thoroughfare.
It's a private road.
Take their property.
It's a
Right,
private road. Then let's start fixing everybody's
Anyway,
driveway,
that's my
Mike.
2 cents.
Their aprons are cracked, let's go fix them too, because that's private property.
Ultimately, the town put the burden on that roadway when they connected the roadway to Joliet.
It was not made right. When the previous town council, 1 or 2 town councils ago, should have done that right in the first place, but they didn't.
I agree with that. But what are you gonna do? I agree with that.
But I don't believe in buying a road for over $100,000 and we're gonna repair it probably for another $100,000. And it was appraised once, there's 3 different parcels there. It was, to buy all that road was $236,000.
It is a complete mess. What an error that was.
Then you go back to the owner.
Error.
When that owner went before us for the batting cages, that they should have said, hey, fix the road. Then you can get your batting cages. We fell short on that
You fixed a 100
too.
foot of roadway in front of your house?
Pardon?
You fixed a 100 foot of roadway in front of your house?
That's a private, it's a public road, Mike. This is
It's gonna be a public road too now.
Private
It
property.
So why are we gonna take the burden on that?
And that's why
Brian?
it wasn't fixed anyways, for you know. So.
You have anything, Brian?